Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Bill from BandA Solutions, and welcome and Happy New Year 2019. And we're kicking off with our Member Solutions vlog. Today, we're really proud and happy to introduce Dr. Neil Renaud. Renaud. Perfect. See, I can't say it. Renaud, perfect. Pleasure to meet you. I had an opportunity to go to a ribbon cutting and hear your story, and it just clicked. It was a light bulb moment that I really kind of fell in love on how you brought this passion to your industry, and I really wanted to have the opportunity to share this with our members, with our community, and hopefully get to hear more about you and what you do. So tell us about yourself. Give us that story one more time.
Sure. My name is Neil Renaud, and I'm an optometrist. I just moved here to Holland a few months ago to open up EagleEye Performance Vision. We do a lot of different vision care, but especially vision therapy. And I got started in this actually right after high school. I shadowed my optometrist and just to see if I'd be interested in optometry, and I found out he had a vision therapy clinic there. And that really, I really gravitated towards that. It was where I became a vision therapist, and I even had one kid who always stood out to me. He was in 4th grade, way behind in reading, not very confident, easily frustrated with homework, and that causes mom to be frustrated because she's got this smart kid who's fallen behind and she's not sure why. So I got to see him really blossom, and through the course of the treatment plan, take off and become much more confident, ahead in reading, gets through homework much easier, better in sports, and that's when I knew this is what I wanted to do. I love working with kids and I love helping people, and I found something in healthcare that allowed me to do that. So I get to work with kids who struggle with vision problems that interfere with their ability to read, to learn, to comprehend, and even paying attention. So that journey took me through optometry school, a residency in vision therapy and rehabilitation, and then here to Holland. So that's kind of my story on how I got from just a kid fresh out of high school to all the way here today.
Oh, fantastic. And you just opened an office here in Holland?
Yes, we opened in November.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
It was great to kind of see that opening, and then your contribution to the community, which is fantastic. We're looking forward to that. Now, just hearing that story and kind of looking at myself growing up, and heck, even my daughters now. I mean, with today's society, what are you looking at as the hindrance side of things? What is the common theme that we should be aware of that is creating an issue for vision therapy?
Sure. I'd say the biggest problem now is we have eyes that for hundreds and thousands of years are designed perfectly to see out far away, to hunt and gather and search for things, and spend a little bit of time up close, short periods up close, and then look out far away where our eyes are perfect. But now what do? Now, 150 years ago, everyone's forced to go to school, which is a good thing, but now in school you need to be reading, writing, and looking at something up close, whether it's a book or a piece of paper or your desk. Then we add in computer screens, phones, tablets, smartphones, everything now. We're spending hours and hours a day up close with this this near vision that takes a lot of work. Our eyes actually have to flex muscles, turn inward, change their focus. Yeah, our eyes are totally relaxed out far away, and we're spending hours a day working extremely hard. So there's really this fundamental mismatch now where our eyes are forced to do something that they're not comfortable with.
Wow, that's actually kind of good to know. So, I mean, we kind of look at today's technology and the usage around it. So what do you do, or how do you use technology in your office to kind of work on that vision therapy?
Certainly, yeah. It's got its pros and cons. We try to take advantage of technology as much as possible to increase the effectiveness of our vision therapy programs. Okay. So whether it's our touch screen or 3D vision, working on hand-eye coordination and depth perception, lots of different things. A couple I want to highlight are we have something called Right Eye, which is it's a device that a child looks at a computer screen, and it actually tracks where their eyes are. So as they're following a target around, moving to different places on the screen that it demands, the device actually tracks exactly where your eyes are. at a microscopic level that even the human ear can't quite pick up. So for instance, we can put a child who's, say, a 9-year-old child, have them read a passage on the screen, and it tracks exactly where their eyes are. If they're rereading things, if they're skipping to the wrong line, if they skip ahead, all those little different eye movements that are essential for taking meaning from the page, it calculates that for us and then decides, it actually compares that 9-year-old with other 9-year-olds. So we can decide, are all these eye movements right on par for a 9-year-old, or are they developmentally behind? Yeah. So now we can determine if those eye movements are causing problems that are related to reading.
Right.
We can also do concussion protocol testing, where have a baseline of, say, your football player, have you come in and do the right eye, get some data for where you are normally, and then if there's a suspected concussion, you hit your head during a game or practice. Next day, come in and just repeat the test really quickly, and we can see really quickly if your score suffers dramatically. Well, 90% of concussions have a vision problem, so we can determine quickly, is there likely a concussion or not? If there is, we need to send you to your primary care doctor and go into concussion protocol right away.
Okay.
So it answers that question of, do I have a concussion or not? It's hard to tell.
Right.
So the right eye is able to figure that out. Another thing we use is something called Binovi, which is, I prescribe home therapy activities to reinforce what we did in the office. And that can be pretty challenging. You get home and you're trying to remember what I said, and you've got all these instruction papers laying around and equipment's all over the house. So I send a box of a kit home with every piece of equipment, as well as an app that can go on a smartphone, and I program your activities to send out to you, and feedback, ask questions, track your progress, and it really just makes our vision therapy program from start to finish much more effective.
Oh, amazing. That use of technology is kind of, like pros and cons, kind of like going on a diet. It's like, I want to have sweets, but you can, just in moderation.
Right.
So I get that. That's pretty cool. Now, you mentioned a lot, with working with children, and I'm assuming that's not just the case that you do. You work with adults, young adults, older adults. As a parent side to just from young to older adults, what should we be looking for that could trigger, say, oh, well, this is something I maybe should consider looking at more into for vision therapy? So, what do we see normally that we don't even put our minds to it as far as that issue?
Sure, and that's a great question, and kind of tough because there are so many different vision problems that can show up in our lives. If you're a child in school and your child comes home with headaches every day, or homework takes hours and hours just to do 20 minutes worth of homework, getting tired with reading, fatiguing quickly, they complain of their eyes hurting. Those are all big warning signs. A lot of children actually see doubling on the page, where letters can kind of wobble back and forth like a ghost image, double vision on the page. Those are big signs of vision problems. But really, any kid who's also falling behind, has to reread for comprehension, forget spelling words, and their visual memory is poor, those are some warning signs. But you can even be a concussion patient who's suffered, you get in a car accident, you've suffered a concussion. Those patients, they always have headaches, lots of dizziness, nausea, can't even look at a computer screen anymore. And vision is actually in every area of your brain, every lobe, left, right, cortex, midbrain, it's all over the place. There's a role for vision there. So because of that, if there's poor visual development or suffering an injury that you need to rehab, there can be, since vision is everywhere in your brain, it can affect every aspect of your life, really.
Wow. So at this point, we covered some details, but what should I expect, or what should I do, or our audience, what should they do to kind of start the process?
There's a lot of different vision problems that you're not quite sure if they are a vision problem or if there's something different. So we try to make that process as simple as possible. Our website has a symptom survey on there where you can check off, okay, I get headaches with reading, eye strain, my child is falling behind in reading, there's poor coordination, bumps into things a lot. Those are all possibly vision problems, but when they all add up, at the end, it calculates a score for you where we can determine, is there a really high likelihood of a vision problem, or is it something different? So that's a really great resource on our website. You can also check us out on Instagram and Facebook with our EagleEye Performance Vision pages, where we try to put out a lot of information and get those conversations started, where the next step for you is to call our office. You can have a conversation with us on the phone, come in for a free consultation to just get the full experience before you decide, is myself or my child going through vision problems that these need to be treated by more than just glasses. And then my process is really rigorous before I even prescribe vision therapy. We look at about 30 or so different visual skills, and it takes me actually about 2.5 hours or so to complete all of that. So it's a lot different than your routine eye exam. So at that point is when I prescribe vision therapy, and exactly how long is it going to take, what are my specific diagnoses, and what are we specifically going to work on in vision therapy? Do we need lenses, things like that? So really trying to make sure that every plan is individualized for exactly what you or your child is going through.
Well, that's great information. I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for being here and joining us today.
Glad to be here.
Dr. Neil. Hey, BandA members and everyone out there, stay tuned for our next channel, our next episode. We're actually going to see Matthew Tanis, our IT director, who's going to be talking about cybersecurity and a little bit about email spoofing. So stay tuned for that. Thank you very much, Dr. Neil.
Pleasure being here.
Have a great day. Take care, everyone.